Where did Isaac go?
I'm still here.
Are you in the upstairs?
Nope.
Forgot about the little dance floor.
Nice.
Okay, well, I'm gonna start up. So, what's going on, gamers? Hatchet Gamer here, and welcome back to another live stream where today I'm joined with two special guests. I'm here joined with Isaac the Killer and TC Music.
Yep. What up?
Yeah, so pretty much, basically, like, the other squad, like Esteban and Leo couldn't join us. I don't know if Leo would be able to join, but pretty much, I don't know what the heck they've been doing. They've been busy, so, yeah. But anyway, we're going to be doing our MCU discussion. We're going to continue on with Phase 3, where we're doing two parts. Basically, since Phase 3 is kind of has the longest roster of movies, figured why not we split it into two parts. So, pretty much the movies we'll be talking about is Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Thor Ragnarok. So yeah.
Cool.
Alright, so let's start it off with Captain America Civil War.
Oh yeah.
That was an interesting one.
So basically, the movie starts off over in Siberia, just around maybe 1999, I think.
I think so. Maybe earlier, maybe 1980
No, it's
something.
earlier. It's earlier.
Yeah, it's
I think
somewhere
it's
in the 80s
1946.
Oh,
you're
wow.
right. You're right. No.
46?
No, 46 was when I think Bucky killed Stark's parents.
Really? In
Never mind.
46?
I may be wrong.
I
No,
think it's
64. 64.
Yeah, because that wouldn't line up with Tony's age.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Wait.
right. Plus, I'm thinking about Mission Report, December something.
No, it is it's 1991.
Oh, look at you.
There we go. Now I remember. Okay, so basically we've been introduced, of course, with the Winter Soldier again. Pretty much what Hydra's been doing, and of course
Except technically in that part they didn't reveal that Bucky's the one that killed anyone yet.
Yeah.
We just saw that
You're right.
we just saw that people were killed. We didn't even see that it was Tony's parents yet either.
Yeah.
You're right.
So,
You're right.
so pretty
In
much-
fact, I'm pretty sure everyone thought it was that one guy at the beginning who freaking ends up enticing Bucky.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty much he's been like Bucky was been sent there to get like stuff for like to create more Winter Soldiers, I believe. Yeah.
The facility that he originally came from, yes, where they took, I think they took almost dead soldiers or something like that, and then just brainwashed them and shit and turned them into their like assassins and shit. Which was kind of sad. Like they literally had their lives stolen from them.
Yeah. Well, that's Hydra.
Yep, a bunch of evil assholes, just like AIM.
Alright, so pretty much it shows us the little introduction of the Winter Soldier. Now, of course, the Marvel logo shows up, yada yada yada, and now we move on to Lagos, where we're introduced to the remaining Avengers. Well, there's Captain America, Falcon, Black Widow, and Scarlet Witch. So
Yep, and where were they again? I think they were like
Lagos.
Lagos. So pretty much they're
who was it that attacked that one place?
It was Crossbones.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Brock Rumlow.
yeah. I remember the crossbones.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So basically, what Crossbones was doing in Lagos, because he was actually been sent there to bring in to take a biological weapon. So pretty much the Avengers
Which might be used in the What If series coming up.
Yes. I can't wait. I think it has to do. Of course, I think everyone knows that it has to do with the zombies.
Yep. That's gonna be interesting.
That's the one episode I'm just most excited for when that series comes out.
I think that's the one episode almost everyone's excited for, considering they put that bioweapon in the movie.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this is going to lead to something at some point. I'm pretty sure people thought it would lead to something for the movie, but then when it led to nothing, they're like, oh, so then it's going to involve something in the future.
Yeah.
There's only been a few times that the MCU throws something out there that they don't use, and even like small things that I'm trying to think of an example, but even small things that they've used in the movie later on. Perfect example. Look at the scepter. It was just a tool that Loki used, but turns out there was an Infinity Stone in there the whole time. You know?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I mean. Like by that bioweapon, it could be something way bigger later on.
Yeah. Could be for the what if. So pretty much, I guess, like maybe, like it could happen when the vial was dropped.
Yeah.
That's when it started spreading.
Because originally in the movie, they showed that they managed to get it without dropping it at all. But I'm pretty sure in the What If series, something ended up happening. Somebody dropped it, or I don't remember what happened. I don't think I've actually read any of those, but I know some of them.
Yeah. But so pretty much throughout the course, they've been trying to to prevent Romulo and his group of mercenaries, I think, just to get their hands off their the biological weapons. So pretty much they succeeded, but unfortunately, Romulo, tried. He had bombs, but luckily enough, the Scarlet Witch was able to just fling him to the air. But unfortunately, with the blast, he just kills the building right next to Romulo, which kills a bunch of people, which set off to start the Sokovia Accords.
I honestly don't feel like that was Scarlet's fault. She should have been trained more, because I don't think she was ready for that kind of pressure.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Scarlet Witch.
Plus, I can't wait for her series.
She is supposedly supposed to be one of the stronger characters, even rivaling Captain Marvel.
I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that.
She's Magneto's daughter. Of course, she's powerful.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
What? You didn't know?
Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are Magneto's children.
What the hell?
Yeah, I guess because since
did they mention that in the one X-Men movie where that Quicksilver was in?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he first comes out, he actually asks, he's like, who is that guy? And later on, I think it's in Apocalypse, which is one of my favorite X-Men movies. He actually tells does he tell Mystique, I believe it is? He's like, that's my dad. Yeah.
But unfortunately, Dark Phoenix didn't take that anywhere, so.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't care.
Neither did I.
Yeah, because I knew for a fact it was just gonna suck because of how many reshoots I heard they were doing, and just meh.
Yep. Not just that. What's the point?
Yeah.
Disney bought out Fox, so.
Hopefully they can make a better X-Men movie.
Yeah, they probably won't, considering their track record. I mean, they did a good job, kind of, with the everything else they seem to be kind of screwing up.
Like Star Wars?
Yep.
Yeah.
And considering that they literally took those 3 movies off of the roster, I think, for the canon series, that's that's kind of funny.
That's a whole nother video right there.
Yeah, but we'll do it. I mean, pretty sure you guys can just stream that, and we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, anyway, getting back to it. So basically, it cuts off with basically kind of gets a memory with Tony and his parents before their final goodbye to him.
And then turns out that was a huge hologram that he was showing off, which was I actually thought that was a good thing. Imagine having that in real life.
Yeah, dude, that'd be cool.
What is it called? Biometric audio frame. retrospective frame. I don't know. I forgot.
Or barf.
Giant, complicated name.
Yeah. And just say this, just a little heads up, this also brings up a big importance to Far From Home when we get to that part.
You mean the fact that he felt, Tony felt left out by his dad, and then Peter was kind of like that too, with Uncle Ben having died?
Yeah, well, but anyway, so pretty much, you know, it's just with the whole, bring up, like, the whole grant, and then, of course, around the time, basically, Tony and Pepper were on a break, so pretty much when he saw, like, you know, Pepper's name, it just kind of, a little bit just,
angry with him?
Yeah, but, like, he's just, like, kind of, I guess, just still saddened about how they were just taking a break, so he just, like, tried to improvise and just said, I'll go break some eggs. Yeah. And then, of course...
Then they had the encounter, then he had the encounter with that one lady who, one of her kids was in the blast. I'm pretty sure her own
her son was in Sokovia when they was been attacked by Ultron.
Oh yeah, that's right. Shit, that was fucking... Ooh.
Yeah. Dang.
I think I really like that scene because it shows a very human side of Tony Stark. When she reaches into her purse and he feels threatened by literally everyone around him, and I mean he gets defensive, and like he's like okay, you know, like he thinks she has a gun or something.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, like he's just traumatized with just like after, you know, he's a hero, but yet he feels like a criminal, you know.
Because, like, pretty much...
Not only that, I feel like, obviously being a hero, having to deal with saving people, that's got to put a lot of stress on you, because it's like you're not going to be able to save everyone.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, that was a really tense scene for me, so... But, yeah, it was so very good. And following up after that, pretty much we're at the... I think at the Avengers compound?
I think so.
Because, like, it's basically where, like, you know, they're seeing, like, the news about what happened in the aftermath of Lagos, and basically, Wanda is feeling guilty about what happened. Yeah. And
I don't remember. Was, what was his name? Shit. I can't remember what that one guy's name is. Arnim Zola. Was he in Civil War, or was that Age of Ultron? Or the
no, he was last in he was in Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, sure. That's right.
So
I forgot.
Yeah. So pretty much, Steve, you know, went to have just a talk with her about what happened, and then of course Vision came along with just a little funny thing where just like he just faced through the walls, and one just said, "Vision, we talked about this." Yes, but the door was just.
I guarantee he stuck his head through the bathroom door one time, and that's why she said that.
Dude! Oh my god.
I guarantee that's why she said it. She's like, we talked about this. No putting your head through the freaking wall.
Yeah. So pretty much, Vision, you know, informs that you know, Tony arrived, and of course with like the Secretary of State, Ross. I hate that guy.
Me too.
Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna do something with him in the future with Red Hulk.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Considering he's been around since Incredible Hulk, which was what, in 2006, I think.
No, 2008.
Oh, okay, close enough. 2 years off.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, so pretty much there's like, of course, I think the next part was with the meeting with the Avengers and Ross. Pretty much, you know, he's just basically, you know, saying like, while people may see you as heroes, there are some who prefer the word vigilantes. And pretty much, dude, I just hate that guy because he is like one of the few reasons just that the Avengers are split up, and because he also wants to take control. And man, he just never learns. He never learns his lesson.
I think what bases a vigilante is kind of like what Spider-Man does, where he doesn't reveal who he is. That's what makes you a vigilante, is that nobody knows who you are. So technically he is wrong when he says that they're vigilantes.
Yeah,
or that
I mean,
people claim that they're vigilantes.
Pretty much everyone knows like who the Avengers are. I mean, they already know that Tony is Iron Man. They know who Captain America is. They know about Black Widow, and yeah, pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
Yep, there's a whole museum dedicated to Steve Rogers.
I know. And freaking Iron Man literally revealed it on camera on national television.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, I am Iron Man.
Yeah, so pretty much then Ross was showing, you know, some footage from the Avengers' previous battles, like in New York, Washington. Then Sokovia, and then of course with Lagos, it pretty much is making everyone feel guilty about the destruction they left behind. And yeah, then of course he introduced them to the Sokovia Accords.
We'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Continue.
Alright, so... Okay, so trying to remember, it's a little bit fuzzy, but... Yeah, pretty much he's like giving a decision for the Avengers to talk it over and see what they decide, and of course Black Widow says like, and if we come to a decision you don't like, then you retire immediately. So yeah, man, this just shows how much I hate General Ross or Secretary Ross. I don't care.
Yeah, because I think there could have been many different decisions they could have made. I think they should have talked about. There's this scene, I know maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but later on when you see the scene when Steve Rogers and Tony are kind of negotiating how the deal would look, you know, I wish they would have done that. If they would have done that at the beginning, maybe they would have can't come to an agreement. But the fact that Secretary Ross said, no, these are the guidelines, and it's either this or nothing. It's like, I wish Steve would have been like, no, like, let's discuss some contingencies, let's come to an agreement. We're not in cages, we can come and go as we please. If it's a threat, there shouldn't be any question for us to jump in. You know, we'll let Spider-Man handle the friendly neighborhood stuff, and FBI handle all the other petty crimes, but like a world threat, come on, like let us go in. I think they should have come to an agreement rather than General or Secretary Ross just kind of like spitting the rules and or else you retire, you know.
Yeah, pretty much just like, again, like he just wants to gain like control over the Avengers.
Of course he does. He's an ass, and he thinks he's the big top boss.
Yeah, and I thought he would have learned after dealing with the Abomination.
Right? That's true. I never thought about that.
He basically created the Abomination.
Yeah, and that guy.
And I'm pretty sure what leads him to becoming Red Hulk is kind of the same thing, where they're experimenting with the super soldier serum again, and then something went crazy again.
Yeah. So, okay, and then of course after that scene, then we go over to a place in Cleveland. So it's basically like this retired Hydra colonel that was just been hiding out. Then of course there's a little bit like a car crash of a guy. You know, he just pretty much goes up to him and just says, "Hey, is this your car in front? I jumped the curb. Is there a way we can fix this, or should I just call the cops?" And he just said, no cops. Then he opened the door, and then, bam, knocked out. Of course, this is where we've been introduced to...
I wouldn't have opened the door for him still.
Yeah. So this is, of course...
Personally, I would have handled that a completely different way.
Well, how would you do it? I'm curious.
Let's just say there would be a missing person.
Fair enough.
Jeez.
So, anyway, so basically this is where we are first introduced to Helmut Zemo. Pretty much he's again one of my favorite MCU villains.
Oh, actually,
Really?
by the way,
Yeah.
you know what I really want to see happen?
Hmm.
Obviously, we have the shows like freaking
Falcon and the
Iron
Winter
Fist,
Soldier.
Jessica Jones, freaking Daredevil, and well, I forgot the last one. What did I say? What were the
Iron
two I already
Fist?
said? Huh? Luke Cage,
Iron-
yeah.
Oh.
I already said Iron Fist.
Are you
Oh,
taking
my
them? Are talking
And
about the
obviously
Netflix show or
Defenders.
Disney Plus?
But I want to see. What I want to see is them get implemented into the MCU.
That would be amazing.
Yeah,
I
but,
know, 'cause,
but
like-
unfortunately for Disney, they didn't let that happen.
I know. That was the dumbest thing they've ever done.
Yep.
Right?
Wait, hang on. Let me just do
But,
something pretty
but
quick.
one thing I find weird, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be canon.
Oh, that's so cool.
But I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if it is a canon thing, but originally, from what I've seen in one of the shows, is that they were all supposed to be teenagers with Spider-Man. But instead, in the shows, they make them adults, or at least Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
What?
Wait,
I didn't know that.
Dude,
Yeah,
wait.
in one of the shows, it's Spider-Man, White Tiger.
Wait, you're talking about Ultimate Spider-Man?
Oh, yeah, you're
Yeah.
doing the Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Pretty much, Luke Cage and Iron Fist have always been adults. It's just because for Ultimate Spider-Man, they just made them into teenagers.
yeah, but it still would have been more fun to have it like that, just because, like, just to see them grow up and advance their powers more, instead of having their powers as an adult and have to try to get used to it.
Alright, so, yeah. Continuing on, so,
Whoops.
alright.
Yes.
So
continue.
pretty much, Zemo just infiltrated that guy's house because he was looking for a book, and of course he's interrogating the guy about a mission report December 16, 1991, and yeah, pretty much. And
yes.
of course,
Water torture.
yeah. And the colonel's just been asking, like, how did you find me? Who are you? And of course, what do you want? And when Zemo repeated his question, and the colonel just said the last, just like, go to hell. And then,
Go to hell.
yeah.
Go to hell, friend.
Yeah. Hydra deserves its place in the ash heap, so your death will not bother me. And then, yeah.
Hail Hydra.
Yeah, pretty much that guy just drowned. So yeah, that guy did. So then now we move on to the Avengers with Rhodey and Sam just arguing about what would happen if they sign, what if they don't, and pretty much Rhodey is on the side with the Sokovia Accords while Sam is of course against it. And pretty much, yeah, it's really is a tough decision on if you've been put in this. So.
I don't know. That would be a tough choice though.
Yeah. I mean,
Because obviously they have to be independent, but at the same time, like, it can be unsafe in certain circumstances.
So, yeah, pretty much like, so then, okay, so, yeah, alright. Basically, after, the two were, like, arguing, Vision just, stepped in and pretty much, given, like, some facts, they think it's, like, I think it's best to them to sign the Sokovia Accords. And, of course, then when we move on to Tony, he pretty much just talked about, that kid that was been mentioned earlier, that he died in Sokovia. And he just says, like, we need to be put in check. And then
I feel like that was a bold move for him, but also like kind of character development, because that shows that he wants to make sure people are not getting hurt.
Yeah, pretty much a really like a big really big step up, because like again, like before Tony was just an asshole, and then now he's just like really just is taking things seriously and just wants to protect the people.
But I mean, I guess you could say that obviously, since the first Iron Man movie, he was trying to protect the people, considering what happened with that one scene when he was the bogey, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that scene.
So, yeah, after, Tony, he talks about that, Steve, just jumps in and just says, like, about, like, saying, like, what if this panel sends us somewhere we don't think we should go, and what if there's somewhere we need to go, and they won't let us? We may not be perfect, but the situations are still our own.
It's like trying to tell Nick Fury, oh, you can't call on Captain Marvel just because, oh, she's way too strong and shit might go sideways.
Yeah.
And yeah, pretty much. Then of course Black Widow stepping in, and pretty much she agrees with Tony. And then of course then the heartbreaking thing happened with Steve is when he received the news that Peggy Carter has now passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of sad.
Which he was already at that funeral, though. Have you guys heard that theory?
Yeah, that actually that Steve, the old man Steve, was actually at the funeral. Yeah.
Wait. Repeat?
You know in Endgame where he becomes an old man?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, supposedly that in that timeline, old man Steve was actually at that funeral.
Yeah, it's
You
just
never
like
heard that theory, Isaac?
Nope.
I'll send you a picture.
Yeah. But yeah,
But that
pretty
would be
much.
interesting. That would actually be an interesting thing if throughout all of the other movies of the Avengers, from the Avengers to Endgame, if they'd put an old Steve Rogers somewhere in the background.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting if they did something like that.
Yeah. So then, after the funeral, and of course with Sharon Carter, giving her speech about her aunt, Black Widow comes in to visit Steve to check on how's he doing, and then of course he informs them that Tony, Rhodey, and Vision, joined with the Sokovia Accords. And yeah, they're kind of just saying their little goodbyes, and then we move on to Vienna. I think it was when they had like a huge panel to bring in like everyone from around the whole world to talk about the Sokovia Accords. And then of course that's when we were introduced to T'Challa, aka Black Panther.
Oh yeah. What a badass.
Yeah, that's true. I love how we end up finding out in Black Panther that one of the reasons that the dad gave it to him was because he was too fat to fit the suit.
But then, so while of course, while his father, King T'Chaka, he's giving about his speech about the aftermath in Lagos and all that. And of course, a huge bomb set off, and of course, killing T'Chaka along with I guess a few other people that's been mentioned. Which after
A few other people that don't really matter because not important characters.
yeah. So yeah, pretty much after then of course Steve, Sam, and Sharon Carter saw in the news about the bombing, and then pretty much they saw that basically then of course it was revealed that people say that it was Bucky Barnes, but then we know that it was actually not him, he was being framed.
Yeah.
And it's funny too, because nobody thought to, like, especially T'Challa, he didn't think to actually find proof other than the videotape, because that could be like fake. There, like, people can make disguises. It's not like everyone is, it's like everyone is innocent until proven guilty.
That's what happens when you're consumed by vengeance.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So yeah, and pretty much like emotions can get the best of you. Just like it won't let you like think rationally. You just like go at it. So Yeah, pretty much. Black Panther just went on now going on a quest to seek vengeance on Barnes. And while then of course Steve went to go look for him. That's a fail. And yeah, then of course when Steve informs Barnes about the bombing, just like and he's saying I don't do that stuff anymore. Well, the people that think you did are coming right now, and they aren't planning on taking you alive. Then of course, yeah, pretty much like the huge soldier just steps in and then tries to capture Barnes. But then of course Black Panther came along, and yeah dude, the suit was crazy.
What suit?
The Black Panther suit.
Oh yeah.
And of course we get this huge epic chase with Captain America, Black Panther, and the Winter Soldier. Wait! Shit, I forgot. I need to hold up. I gotta mute the licensed audio.
Oh no.
Okay, there we go. I got it.
I don't think it would get copyrighted considering it's in the game.
Yeah,
Dude,
but still.
Where did you get that back bling?
Oh, I didn't get this. It's not a back bling. I found it in the what game was it?
The basketball?
Huh?
That door basketball, the one that's open right there?
Yes.
Ah.
You're sick. Alright, continue.
Alright, so then of course we get this huge epic chase, dude, with the crazy flips, and dude, I like the part where just like when Bucky just takes like that dude's motorcycle, just like a huge like turn, and then bam. That was sick.
Yeah.
And of course, to the end, they were all surrounded, and then of course War Machine came along, and then they all been taken into custody except for except the Black Panther. So then
I think he bailed himself out.
yeah. And then of course I think I remember. Hold up, I'm trying to concentrate here if you stop doing the dance. So, trying to remember,
Oh my god.
There we go. I was trying to get something to finish quick.
You could just press R2. It's that simple.
I'm stupid. I forget that shit.
Of course you are. Anyway, so then I think I remember. Then it shows.
Hella cold.
Well, yeah. But anyway, so I think in the next scene it shows basically in the hotel room with Zemo, basically showing like he had disguises, and of course he's learning of the book that he gotten. Of course he's preparing for something really big.
What I hate is that all of it was. I mean, it wasn't for nothing. We end up finding out that frickin' Bucky ends up was the one that killed Tony's parents, but like, why the hell did that guy need to go through all that trouble just to prove something like that? Like, I mean, obviously, so it could cause tension between the Avengers, but
it's because it was mentioned that in the end he lost both like his wife and son during the Battle of Sokovia, and pretty much he really just wants to get revenge, basically.
Yeah, but it's just kind of so stupid, though.
Yeah,
but
like,
yeah, I know losing your kids and your family or whatever is like it's heartbreaking, yeah. But to go to those lengths, that's just no.
Yeah, but I mean, he did what he accomplished. He created like tension between Iron Man and Captain, and pretty much splitting up the Avengers fully. So, yeah. And then, of course, I think it cuts now to,
what's going on back
pretty much
here?
in the car ride, like, where basically, Sam and Steve are talking with T'Challa about the Black Panther and all that. And then, of course, we reached, with Natasha, and, of course, with, Agent Ross, who actually we'll see again in Black Panther.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
He was. I didn't like him at first.
Yeah. Didn't like him at first, but then in Black Panther I actually kind of liked him.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. And so, and oh my gosh, look what he's doing.
I know, I see.
But I mean, if I was wearing Ruby, then yeah.
Oh my god.
But anyway.
Oh my god. I'm gonna go grab a skin real quick.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, wait. Look, no, let me think. I wonder who's he gonna get.
Yes, I'm good.
Ooh, burgers. Thank you.
Continue.
I'm betting he might get Ocean or Tantino or Jules. That's one of my suggestions. But anyway, so pretty much then of course, they meet up with Tony Stark and you know they just inform the guys they won't be getting their stuff back. Then of course Zemo's plan has been put into motion when, like he has some guy deliver the device that he made over to where was it? It was a power station.
What device?
Yeah, that device. But where did he send it to? Like a power? It was like a power station or something to shut down all the power.
It was a power place, and then it knocked out the electricity.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
He did win with Ocean. I knew it. But yeah, so pretty much then, Chris. Then we have this little scene with Tony and you know. And Steve, where they talked about what happened with Tony and Pepper, then with a little bit of Howard with his parents, and then of course he later on went to explain about the Sokovia Accords, and you know Steve kind of like you know decided want to agree, but you know just to protect Bucky. But then, of course, when he heard about why to have Wanda reinstated, then pretty much then that's when like hell kind of break loose between the two. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was just like pretty big. Just pretty much, he explained how like you know, it's like where Steve just said like it isn't protection, it's internment.
Yeah.
And yeah. Like, it was really, like, just, wow, really tense. And then, yeah, that's just when pretty much just, like, Steve just decided to just no.
Yeah, and that's the thing I was talking about where at first they were, like, coming to a plan, but then it, like, didn't work out, you know?
Yeah. And then now we move on to where now Zemo starts to interrogate with Barnes, and oh my god.
This dude.
Wait, hold on, I need to get a front row seat. Oh man, but. Okay, but anyway, time moving on. So, okay. And of course we have this little funny moment where it's just like when Sharon Carter brings it like the five reports, you know, to Steve and Sam, and just Sam just says like, bird costume? Yeah, and then Sharon shows the camera with Zemo, and then of course that's when, during their talk, then the whole power went out.
Dude. Bird costume. Imagine you saw freaking the original comic costume.
I know.
He'd be ripping all over that.
Yeah. Okay, so then,
I got the AC going.
After the power went off, that's when basically Zemo uses like the book to try to get Bucky in control and just tell him about the mission report. Then, as soon as Steve arrived and tried to interrogate Zemo, then Bucky started to attack him. Just like him acting now as the Winter Soldier again.
But unfortunately, he couldn't get out in time.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much Zemo escaped. Tony, Sharon Carter, Black Widow, and T'Challa tried to attack with the Winter Soldier, but they all failed miserably.
I feel like they shouldn't have been tricked by that guy because I'm pretty sure. What do they need, like a translator or something? I don't remember.
I don't know.
An interrogator or whatever it was.
Mhm.
I feel like they should have known what the guy was supposed to look like.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they even mentioned that in either film theory or screen rant. Where how do they not know what their own guy is supposed to look like?
Well, here's my response.
Because otherwise the movie wouldn't happen.
Okay. So, then of course, Steve goes after Bucky in the, little helicopter, and dude, and Steve was ripped as hell when he just holds the helicopter and just keeps hanging on to the building. Just I guess it's just the way just showing
that
off
was
his
one of the
muscle.
most memorable scenes.
Yeah. But yeah, after, of course, Steve got Bucky away, they took him, he and Sam took him, to, a little warehouse, where they basically tell him about if he knows who he is, and of course, that's when Bucky is starting to is the real Bucky again. And then, Bucky just then pretty much informs about why he wants, about how Zemo wanted to know about Siberia, and then how it was a possibility that he could be after the other soldiers, the other the assassins. Then yeah, pretty much. And of course, when Steve and Sam were just talking just a bit, they were just saying we're on our own. Maybe not. I know a guy. And that's, of course, just a reference to a nod that when Falcon met Ant-Man. Yeah. And then we move on then, of course, we go back
and
to...
then Tony did the same thing a little later in Civil War.
Let me get to that part. I'm getting to it. But so pretty much, Ross informs, Stark that he has 36 hours just to find Barnes, Rogers, and Wilson, pretty much just... Yeah, just find them pretty quick, or I guess something bad would happen, I don't know. Then, of course, then Natasha informs Tony, that they're understaffed, and, if they have any ideas. Tony just says, where's your idea? Downstairs. Where's yours? And then, of course, we cut back to one of my favorite parts. We move on to Queens. So, actually, Isaac, I'll let you take this part.
No, it's cool.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Okay, so then of course we've been introduced to the first time ever is introduction into the MCU, Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man.
Speaking of which, you know what's weird? So, when Spider-Man flips into the freaking battle during the whole encounter with everyone, where he jumps out and is like, "Hey, everybody!" Yep. And in the actual Homecoming movie, where where you see the recording of it, they say two completely different things when he jumps in.
Yeah, he actually took the line from the trailer, or just a little bit from a while ago, and plus he didn't even actually get to say that. You didn't hear with Tony saying "nice job, kid," and just thanks, and pretty much a little bit of inconsistency been in Homecoming, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much.
Wait, let me just mention that I have been following the MCU pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man is my favorite superhero.
Same.
So when Spider-Man came out on that trailer, dude. Oh my god.
Dude, I was freaking out. I was screaming, just yes!
Dude, I think I cried.
Yeah, dude. Dude,
ever since one of my favorites too.
Yeah, dude. Ever since when the Avengers happened, I always had the dream if there's a chance that Spider-Man could just interact with all the Avengers. And dude,
Spider-Man was technically supposed to be in the first one, but considering Sony wasn't giving them anything, they couldn't put him in yet.
Yeah.
Correct.
And we just got the Mark Webb films, the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Oh
Yep.
boy.
Jesus Christ. But anyway, then of course not only we've been introduced to this new Peter Parker, we're also introduced to this new Aunt May, which it's Marissa Tomei, which dang.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, cause like I heard like rumors that Marissa Tomei was gonna be playing Aunt May, which I thought okay,
Swear to
pretty.
God, all the Aunt Mays are getting younger.
Yeah.
Through every reboot, they get younger.
Yeah, actually no, I noticed
Swear to
that.
God, swear to God, one time when they get reboot again, she's probably gonna be younger than Peter.
Yeah. Oh my
She's gonna be a teen
God.
mom.
Oh Jesus Christ.
No, see, but the thing is about Marissa Tomei playing Aunt May, I think it's totally realistic.
Yeah.
For example, a lot of people were complaining about that, like, oh, she's not like a nice old lady. It's like, well, she's Peter's aunt, and Peter is 15.
Yeah, not his
Yeah.
grandma.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much. Yeah,
exactly.
that's something that I've always been like been wondering. So like, if that's his aunt, then why is she kind of old? Shouldn't she still be kind of much more younger? Like that's what I've always been thinking. But yeah, but with this, I just like that just makes a lot more sense.
I mean, like, in the Spider-Man game, you could say, like, obviously the reason Aunt May in that one looks younger than the kind of Aunt May from the first Spider-Man movie, but old enough to look like she's old enough to be his aunt, considering how old he is in the game. That makes more sense. Like Aunt May in the movies would look more like that if Peter was,
He's like
if Peter in those
much
movies
more
was
of an
the same
adult.
age as
He's
the one
I
with
agree.
PS4
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much like Tony was, and it's pretty funny because like Anime and like Tony Star Wars just gave funny faces, which is like Anime is kind of like saying like with her expressions to like just don't act weird, just act normal, and while just like, and Tony was just like we can just like go along with it. And it's just like very funny. It's just like really just confusing Peter. Just like, but yeah, it pretty much. Then when Tony got a chance just to talk with Peter just alone, then of course he just informs like he knows like he's Spider-Man. He's been like actually keeping tabs on him for a little bit while, where he shows in the footage where he just stopped a car running towards a bus.
Slam into a bus.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. And of course, there's like just this little thing where just where like Tony, I guess, was just kind of making fun of like the costume that Peter made, and of course, she's making fun of the like name. It's just like you're the Spiderling, crime-fighting spider. You're Spider Boy. Spider-Man.
That was funny.
Yeah. And yeah, pretty much then, of course, Peter then tells Tony about like how why is he doing this, like how just what's his motivation, and Peter just explains like he had these powers for just a while now, and then of course while of course he could like use these like powers like to play football or be good at it, he decides like he thinks it's just kind of reckless, like but it's just not
He knows
to.
his limits.
Yeah.
Because he knows that he looks small. So he knows that if he does something like that, that's gonna look weird to people.
Yeah. And I actually kind of think of it, it's kind of it.
They kind of play him off like he's a dumb character, even though, like, obviously he's not, considering that he can make his own web shooters and web fluid and shit like that. And even people today can't figure that kind of shit out. Where, how do you make a web solid enough, like an artificial web solid enough to sustain a human body while swinging through the air?
Yeah.
Like,
And
no one
actually-
can figure that out in this day and age, but freaking Peter being able to do it, obviously it's a science fiction, but still,
Yeah.
even with that, it's still an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, it's really is this Peter is a lot more different than the one from Homecoming, because I guess like in the Homecoming version, he let like being an Avenger get over his head and just forget like his like his responsibilities.
He definitely seems to take his responsibilities more seriously, even though he acts more like a child, though. But
Yeah.
that's more in tune to what Spider-Man is supposed to be as a kid.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm confused as to why people don't like him. Because even Stan Lee says he's, like, before he died, he even said that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is is the closest to what the real Peter would be.
He said it was the most accurate way of
Yeah.
what Peter would have been.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
pretty much like it's basically like when we did like the thing, like as you remember, like when like on my birthday and then on the day when Spider-Man was pulled out of the MCU, we just talked about how like people were just making these excuses, like, or they were just saying like they were glad because they didn't like the version that Tom Holland was. So it's just like it's pretty stupid, honestly.
Yeah.
That too, you know who the bandwagons were.
Tobey Maguire was a good Spider-Man, but he wasn't a good Peter. The way he looked like every person in that film, in all the films, looked like they were over 20 and they were supposed to be playing high school characters in the first one. I'm pretty sure in the last one, though, they were in like their 20s at least, maybe.
Yeah. But still, Tobey Maguire is a legend.
Yeah, especially with the bus scene in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Or train scene. What am I saying? Bus scene.
I wasn't a huge fan of Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. It's like the only thing that was, it's like imagine having that, just like a bunch of people seeing who you are and deciding because you're, like, you did something great for them. You risked your literal life because he got hurt really bad stopping that train. And it's amazing that those people decided to keep his secret.
Yeah. Okay, we are getting off traffic. We'll talk about Spider-Man when we get to Homecoming. So we are back to Civil War. So pretty much Tony finds a way to convince Peter to join in, and by that just trying to tell on his anime, but luckily just Pete just webs his hand onto the door and just says, "Fine, I'm in." Yeah. Yeah.
Then get this stuff off me. Actually, an hour.
Or he just gets like a knife or something just to cut him out. So. Where basically Hawkeye just comes in to get Wanda out and try to convince her to join us. Like, she was off your ass. So, yeah. And then of course, there was a little fight with Vision and Hawkeye, and it just shows that, like, dang, Vision is powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still not enough in the Infinity War, though.
So obviously, Peter had to go through a lot of hard decisions becoming Spider-Man, because obviously he had to juggle school and all that.
Yeah.
But like, imagine you ended up somehow, some way, getting powers, but not wanting to use them because, for one, you don't want to risk your family getting hurt, but also because your daily life is already a huge pain in the neck. But at the same time, you want to help people because you know what it's like to be hurt. That's kind of what I feel like. That's kind of what Peter had to go through.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, going back to the whole Wanda and Vision thing.
Yeah.
I mean, not Wanda and Vision. Wanda and Hawkeye. I love their relationship.
It's like a father-daughter kind of relationship.
Yeah, I
really
love
like
it,
that.
and it's so cool. I love how you like in Age of Ultron, he like pep talks her right before they go out to the fight, and that's kind of when she like accepts. You know what? I'm weird. I have these powers that make me very different, and I'm scared of them. But I'm gonna embrace them. And then in this one, he like pep talks her to like, you know what? Like, yeah, you messed up, but you either get your ass up.
Mistakes.
Yeah, like, you get your ass up and become an Avenger because Avengers mess up. Or you can like stay here and mope about it. And it's just so cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
There was a good moment.
Yeah. And then of course, then after when Vision was starting to I don't know chokehold Hawkeye, then of course one just decides just to step in and just take I don't know to take down Vision, or I don't know, just pretty much just to hold him off until they get their chance to escape.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think after that was with Cap and Sharon Carter meeting up again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much she just says I'm not sure you understand the concept of a getaway car, and just shows a Volkswagen Beetle. And then
Well, you gotta be inconspicuous too.
Yeah. And I just love
Can't stand out in the crowd.
And I just really love the funny little banter with the Winter Soldier and the Falcon, just can you move your seat up? No. And yeah, pretty much then Steve just was thanking Sharon, and then of course then they both kiss, and it's really funny because in the theater everyone was just was cheering, just woo!
Really? In your theater cheered for that scene?
Yeah, everyone did. They were just ooh! They just went
Wait,
that.
Who and who?
Steve Rogers and Sharon Carter.
Oh yeah.
And then of course
wasn't she the one chick that was undercover?
Yes.
Yeah. His neighbor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And of course, then when Steve just looks back at Sam and Bucky, they were just just yeah.
My boy.
My man.
Dude, that scene was so funny, bro.
Yeah,
because that's exactly what I would do with the boys.
Yeah. Then of course, then Team Cap meets up, and then of course that's when they even brought in Scott Lang, and of course he was just they were acting he was acting like a fanboy.
Yep.
And it's
I mean,
pretty
who
much,
wouldn't?
and it's really funny because now that I think of it, there's some similarities between about how Ant-Man and Spider-Man reacted, how they dealt with in the Civil War. When they first met, both the leaders of the team, they were both geeking out, they were fangirling. And even during the battle, they actually even took on the leaders of the different team. Spider-Man took on Captain America, and then Ant-Man took on Iron Man. And then later on in the end of the battle,
Yep.
they both got knocked out. Am I the only one who noticed that, or
He would.
reference?
Yep.
So yeah, after with the little introductions on the side, then even he told Scott Lang just we're outside the law on this one, so if you come with us, you're a wanted man. Yeah, well, what else is new?
What else is new?
Yeah, that pretty much is just a way of saying why not? I'm in. And then
There was
that's
already a wanted man before. Who cares?
And then of course, then comes the huge epic thing ever happened in the movie, and that is of course the airport battle.
Oh yes. I love the scene when Spider-Man kept talking to Bucky and Falcon. And then Falcon gave him some shit about talking during the fight.
Yeah, just I don't know if you've ever been in a fight before, but there's usually not this much talk.
You have a metal arm? That is awesome, dude.
Just after when Falcon flung his Spider-Man into the window, just Bucky said, "You could have done that earlier. I hate you." But I just wonder how they're gonna.
I love how he said that, and then there's gonna be a Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I wonder how their
TV
chemistry
show.
is gonna be in that. But yeah, but before the funny stuff, basically, it just shows a Team Iron Man going up just all around, a Captain America. Then of course with Spider-Man's funny introduction. Then of course when after he just said Steve just meets Spider-Man, just says, "You've been busy, and you've been a complete idiot, dragging in Clint, rescuing Wanda from a place she doesn't want to leave, a safe place. I'm trying to keep you from tearing the Avengers apart. You did that when you signed.
Oof.
Just like, ooh. And someone just like, alright, we're done. You're gonna turn Barnes over and you're gonna come with us now, because it's us! And then then the battle commences, and then of course Ant-Man struck himself and just got back Cap's shield away from Spider-Man. And Rhodey was just like, whoa, what the hell was that?
I love how he says that, but technically he's already dealt with Ant-Man.
No, it was War Machine.
Falcon
took on Ant-Man, but it's just War Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and pretty much like everyone's just like kept like going on with the banter. Then funny with Ant-Man going up against Black Widow, just like, look, I really don't want to hurt you. I'm gonna stress about it. Just bam. And then
wait, who was that? Because I remember one of them didn't want to hit a woman.
Ant-Man, that was Ant-Man. He went up against Black Widow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was fucking great.
just hit in the nuts, and then he tried to like just to hold her, but then she used one of her stingers just to blast him away. And then Cap went up against a Black Panther and War Machine, and then another part which is like Iron Man went to go confront Wanda and Clint. And it's just funny when they meet again, just like, hey Clint, hey man. And yeah, so then of course when the battle confront on, and then while Cap was fighting off a War Machine and Black Panther, then Ant-Man came in to assist, just like throw it at this now, and it's just funny. War Machine just says, "Oh come on!" Just bam. Oh man, I thought that was a water truck. Sorry.
That was funny.
Yeah. And then that's when both teams just like then met face to face, just like, or that's when you know shit's just about to get real.
Oh yeah.
So then they started walking towards each other. Then of course they started running, and Spidey's just saying, "They're not stopping. Neither are we." And then wha-bam! Huge
Dude,
epic
that fight scene was so awesome.
Yeah.
It really was.
And just funny with Black Widow and Hawkeye, just like, we're still friends, right? It depends how hard you hit me. Yeah. And then of course we have this a little fight with the Winter Soldier and Black Panther. Just like he's just trying to say like, you know, I didn't kill your father. Then why did you run? I mean, like you tried to kill him without like trying to talk with him or give any reasons. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Then of course, Spider-Man goes to confront Captain America, and dang, I'm very surprised that Spidey could take on Cap. Just, but it's still.
I think he was going easy on him.
Yeah.
Wait, who?
Spidey goes to confront Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah, how he was.
Wait, Cap was going easy on who?
On Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that little reference I did earlier. If Cap wanted to lay you out, he would.
Yeah, dude. I mean, come on. Cap has what, over 100 years of experience in combat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, technically, most of that time is frozen in ice, but.
Okay, good point. Good point.
Yeah. And of course, like he even dropped what did he drop on Spider-Man? It was like
It was like this like this metal storage unit.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Oh yeah, and then he was holding it.
Yeah. And just
You
like
got hard, kid. Where you from?
Queens.
Brooklyn.
And actually, I like it. It's also like a little reference too, because like when like he met up with Dr. Erskine, like he says like, where is he from? Queens. And it's just like, oh.
Yeah. That was cool. It was a cool little
yeah.
throwback right there.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Hey,
my name's Peter
quick.
Parker. I'm Doctor Strange. Oh, we're using our made-up names.
We'll get to Infinity War later, okay?
Hey, just a quick. I might have to leave soon.
Alright.
So.
Pretty much, I think we had to leave too as well. I might have to take a shower, but well, I'll just say this is just our journey through the MCU Part 1, Captain America: Civil War in the title. Just put that like that. Then we'll continue on with the rest.
Oh, for sure, brother.
Yeah. Because again, Phase 3 has a bunch of much more movies than the other phases.
This whole thing was just freaking doing one movie.
Yikes. Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah. So basically pretty much then of course we covered that Ant-Man, you know, he went to try to disable Stark's suit, which, you know, almost worked, but fortunately that didn't. He was flung out. And then of course when they went to try to get to the jet to get to Siberia, then just Falcon just informs him, you two just get to the jet and the rest of us are getting out of here. And as much as I hate to admit it, if we're gonna lose this fight, if we're gonna win this fight, some of us might actually have to lose it. And then of course when they needed this version something big, then of course luckily enough Ant-Man has a plan, and dude, when Giant Man was first introduced, I was just like, oh. I even said, like, before I was just like, holy shit! And then when it comes to Spider-Man, holy shit! That was actually the first time I actually heard Spider-Man cuss, actually.
That was cool.
I was just like laughing.
In Spider-Man Far From Home. What the fuck?
Oh yeah.
Alright, following in his aunt's footsteps.
Yep.
You think in the third one someone's just gonna say, what the f—
Yeah, heck yeah they will.
Probably gonna be Ned.
Or MJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MJ.
That'll be fun. But yeah. And okay, so pretty much after that, just then Roach is like, okay, Tiny Dude is big now. He's big now. And even funny is just like when somebody's just like, okay, anybody having any shocking yet fantastic abilities they like to disclose, I'm open to suggestions. Yeah. And that huge fight going on, and then of course with Spider-Man coming up with the plan, she's like, hey guys, have you seen that really old movie, Empire Strikes Back? And just Roach is like, Jesus Tony, how old is this kid? And it's really just funny with the Star Wars reference.
Yep, that was cool.
Yeah. Pretty much it worked, but then again, Spider-Man just got knocked out by... And when Scott got to his normal side, just like, does anyone have any orange slices? Yeah. So pretty much then, of course, when Tony wants to go see if the kid's alright, he is. Then, of course, just informs her, like, he's done. And just while Peter just tries to to give in some, just like, no, I'm fine. I just no, never mind. Okay, you're right. I'm done. Then when we reached to the finale part of the airport battle, pretty much while they got successfully on the Quinjet, while just Natasha just like made sure she tries to keep Black Panther away from them, and that's when when we get to the Black Widow movie, then that's when now we know what happened to her.
Speaking of the Black Widow movie,
yeah.
Obviously from the trailers, I think that we've already seen, we know that AIM is involved. But there's also going to be there's also been another character as Black Widow in the movies that have already come out. So you know how in, I think it was Infinity War, when she had her blonde hair in that different suit.
Oh, you're talking about with like her apparently her sister figure, Yelena Belova. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was supposedly her.
Oh, so like because they show like each other, there could be a chance like she could be like maybe switching up with her. Yeah. I don't know, but we're gonna have to wait till the movie. That's if it will ever release.
Yeah,
It will, November.
I was just hoping it would release on Disney Plus, but whatever.
It really should be, considering quarantine is still a thing.
And plus, they are releasing Mulan on Disney Plus, so.
Well, the movie theater opens next week.
Oh shit! Seriously?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Let's just hope
That's
none
kind
of them.
unsafe move, unless they sanitize it after every movie.
Yeah, I read the safety protocols. It's pretty cool.
Alright, well, for me, at least it's time for me to go back to the theaters, huh? Be good.
Dude, I can't wait. I love the movies.
Dude, man, I just miss going to those with my dad.
I just miss sitting down and eating popcorn. I don't care what movie I'm watching.
Yeah. No matter if the movie's good or bad, at least it was comfortable there, just being there.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm gonna head out now.
Alright.
Okay, cool.
We'll just finish off the rest of Civil War.
Yeah, we'll definitely continue this later.
Yeah. Alright. Wait, before you go, let's just do the grand salute together.
Yeah, baby. Oh, where is it?
Grand salute. America,
Yeah,
baby.
Alright, later guys.
Alright, later.
Truly is America's ass.
Aw, yeah. Okay, so anyway, it's time to move on. Pretty much now we move on to the most the dramatic part, where basically, well, Vision tried to shoot a falcon from the sky. He accidentally shot Rhodey, and then pretty much that caused him just to his power to suit just to stop working, and then he fell down to the ground hard. And just and pretty much when Falcon just came in and just says he's sorry, just Tony just straight up just shot him with the repulsor, just. Yeah, but then it was just ugh. I mean, if one of our friends might been hurt like that, you just do want to want to shoot the guy that's been responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, trying to remember next. Then, then of course Zemo, while he's on this trip to Siberia, he actually informed that hotel lady to bring the food. That's when when she discovered the dead body of the doctor that was supposed to interrogate Barnes, in the bathtub. And strangely enough, that's actually the person that's playing the doctor was actually one of the directors, so pretty much a cameo.
Wow.
Yeah. And then so now I guess
our watcher Stanley has died.
Don't remind me.
You know, because he was apparently hello. Kate.
So I'll just continue on then. So then I think we go on to the part where basically Captain America and Winter Soldier did arrive to Siberia. Then of course they had this little thing going on to remembering of the past. Then of course we go on to where Tony goes to, well, actually he took Rhodey to the medical to an infirmary, just and tells the Vision what happened, why did you miss, and just.
I'm sorry, what?
You turn off my camera from my bed.
How? Interesting. Well, I'm kind of doing a live stream of Adrian. Okay. Love you too. Bye. Okay, continue.
Okay, so then we move on. Well, basically Tony was talking to Vision how did he miss? Then of course when Vision said I got distracted, and then of course when Tony goes to confront Natasha about what happened, you let them go. Now they're gonna be coming for you, and yeah. Then of course he went to go onto the helicopter. While he was on his way to the raft, Friday was informed him about Zemo and all that. So then that's when he knows like, oh crap, Steve was right.
Right. Wasn't that the Supermax prison?
Yeah.
You know, the one that shows up in Spider-Man PS4?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, and then when he goes to the raft, then he met with all the captured, the Rogue Avengers, as they were called, I think. I don't know.
Oh,
But
wait a minute. But the raft in that version is underwater and comes up above water. And
yeah.
It's not exactly next to New York.
I mean,
So
it would.
that's an interesting thing.
I mean, it makes sense because do you really want like everyone like you want someone to come in and bust some superpower criminals daily?
Doc.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to see Doc Ock in the next Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, and I wonder who do you think would play as him?
No. Because I actually really like the actor that they did. Well, I really like what they did for the Doc Ock in the PS4 game.
Yeah.
They gave him so much character. I loved it. I really felt so strongly for him. I was like, this is a guy that I would be friends with.
Yeah,
and
like.
he was so kind, and then he went to shit.
Yeah. Basically, his hatred to Norman Osborn just led him to the States.
Yeah. And you can tell too that he was planning all of it, considering when you see the 3D prints super early on.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway,
Okay,
continuing
continue
on.
about the movie.
Yeah, pretty much when he goes to confront with the Rogue Adventures, everyone just pretty much just mad at him, just like they were like Clint was just saying like, oh, welcome the futurist, and just like pretty much, and I think I know like Tony pretty much outed Hawkeye's family to Ross, and pretty much it's kind of messed up because like Hawkeye did help and like provide a safe house with the Ultron, and that's how he repays him. Kind of messed up.
Yep.
And then of course like a little funny thing with Scotland, just like Hank Pym always says you can never trust a Stark, and just Tony says, "Who the hell are you?" Just funny. And then when he goes to confront with Sam, like, and it's really interesting, and I really like how, like, when the first thing with Sam, he says, like, how is Rhodey? And he just informs, like, he's fine. And of course, when they get down to serious business, like, just like, well, I need to know where Rogers is, and just Sam was just like, you're gonna have to get a bad cop, because you're gonna have to go Mark Furman on my ass to get information. It's like, damn, okay, he's about, like, business. But then, Tony just, like, disrupted, like, the cameras and audio so that Ross and his team will, like, hear what they have to say. And then, of course, Sam says, like, okay, I'll tell you where they are, but you have to promise you will go alone and be a friend. And when, like, of course, when after that thing happening, Ross just told him, Stark, did he give you any information on Rogers? Nah, he just told me to go to hell. I'm gonna go right now. You could call me anytime. I'll put you on hold, though. I like to watch the line blink. It's just, like, really funny. And then later on, I'll talk to that later, but it's really funny. Then, of course,
I like to watch the light blink. Hey, Tony, you got some mental issues there or something? You like to, I like to watch the light blink.
then of course, while he went off, he put on the Iron Man suit, then goes to the destination. But unknown to him, T'Challa was following.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then of course, then Iron Man meets up with Cap and Bucky, just like, and then it just says like, I was like, apologies, I was wrong. Hopefully we can find a way to fix this, to bring in Zemo in.
And then asshole McGee reveals that Iron Man's parents were killed by Bucky.
Like, it's just like dang, like, while he went to go fight with him, like Steve just says to him, just like, this isn't gonna change anything. He's just like, I don't care. He killed my mom. Just bam. She's like, oh.
Ah, yes, a son's love for their mother.
Yeah. And yeah, they pretty much duke it out, and like Love the little collab with Cap and Bucky taking on Iron Man, just like, and then of course like, while Bucky was trying to take off Iron Man's arc reactor, he basically pretty much like blew off his arm, and then of course there like that pose with Iron Man and the Iron Man's repulsor, she's like, bam. And I wish I could block with the shield that I have. But yeah, then of course in the end,
Dude, I forgot. They were selling a Captain America's shield back when I was working at GameStop. I wanted it so bad.
oh dude, yeah, but do you know what kind of the one thing I actually wanted? The Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Dude, I really wanted that so bad.
Dude, Iron Man's helmet. We had that too. Iron Man's helmet and a bunch of other shit.
Yeah, nice.
Dude, I really wish I had money to get those.
Yeah, me too. So then of course later on, Black Panther, confronts, Zemo after learning the truth that he was the one responsible with the bombing. And then of course, explains like, what are we doing? Is this what you want, to see them rip each other apart? Then of course the little backstory that I explained. And of course, T'Challa just says like, vengeance has consumed you. It's consuming them. I'm done letting it consume me. Justice will come soon enough. Then Zemo just said like, tell that to the dead. And before like he tried to shoot himself, he just Black Panther just like blocked the bullet and just says, the living are not done with you yet. And then now we move on to like
I definitely would have killed him.
Yeah.
He kind of deserved it for being the asshole that he is.
Well, one of the assholes who split the Avengers. Don't forget Ross.
Yep.
If we ever meet like Ross in real life, if we've been put with the Avengers and we met up with Ross, what would you do?
I'd misuse my hand upside his head.
Yeah, I'd decapitate the guy, just like how Thor decapitated Thanos. Yeah. So then now we move on to this final brutal fight with Cap and Tony. Just like, dang.
And Bucky.
Yeah. Well, pretty much Bucky was knocked out after when Iron Man just blew off his arm. Then of course, Steve uses his shield too.
And Cap stuck that shield straight into Iron Man's chest.
Yeah, just dang. And then of course then Tony just says that shield doesn't belong to you. My father made that. And then Cap just then just drops the shield. Just dang. It's just kind of it gets kind of the end of the Avengers are truly broken up. And then now we move on to with Everett Ross again, with telling Zemo, about what the rules are, and just you step out of line, you deal with me. Oh, please step out of line. Then of course so what does it feel like to have all of that planned out, then have it fail ultimately in the end? Did it? Because in a way that means he's a city, because basically what happens in Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Since they were all split up, they weren't together, and with them splitting up, that's what caused them to lose.
Yep.
Then we move on to the Avengers compound, where Rhodey now has robotic legs to try to help him walk around, and Tony helping him. And then of course, Stan Lee cameo. Man, I still miss him.
Thank God he still got a cameo in Endgame.
Yep. And of course, just with
It
this
wouldn't
funny
be
line.
the same if he didn't get one in Endgame.
I know.
What sucks is that they're not going to get. He's not going to get another one in the next Spider-Man movie.
He didn't get one in Far From Home, which that just made me sad. But then
The age of cameos is finally gone. Now everyone is depressed about it.
But at least I'm glad that in Captain Marvel, Marvel did make a logo that's paying tribute to Stan Lee, which that's just the one scene I like from that movie. Just that was yeah.
You know that scene where she actually sees Stan on the train?
Yeah.
That was actually her first time meeting him in that moment.
Yeah, just yes. And I really like that camera. Just like both, she smiles at him, just like it's really nice.
That was a genuine smile too.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, back to the camera. She's like, "Are you Tony Stank?" And Roy just kind of was just like, "Yes, this is Tony Stank. Yeah, you're in the right place. Thank you for that." I'm never gonna drop that, by the way. Then of course he receives, like like a little letter from Steve, which is like, he explains like, he apologizes for like keeping the secret from him because like he thought that he wouldn't like be able to like wouldn't have to suffer with the pain, but she's like he was sparing himself. And of course, he's just like saying, "I wish we could create them in the courts. I really do." But yeah, and of course, just saying like, if you ever need us, you need me, I'll be there. And again, just so funny, it's just like he got a call from Ross, just like, "Tony, we have a problem." Please hold. No, don't. Just watch the line blink. Hey, he said he'll put him on hold so he can watch the line blink. But yeah, and then of course during around that time, Steve broke the others out of the raft, and of course the end credits where it shows like they're now in Wakanda. Bucky's now put to frozen so that way they could get the stuff that Hydra put him in like out of his head. And of course it ends off with T'Challa, just like if they find out he's here, they'll come for him. Then let them try.
And he's about to be in a Black Panther movie.
Yeah. And then now we move on. So yeah, we're almost finished. Now we move on to the other final credits. Of course, Ramos with Peter about what happened to him. And it's pretty weird how that happened because like it kind of inconsistent from Homecoming because when he was back, he had like a black guy. He's just like, well, I'll talk about that later. But yeah, pretty much he just had a black guy. He was just talking with his aunt, just like, so like who's the guy that beat you? A guy named Steve, and just like she was saying like, Steve, that guy we know, and just like, no, you don't know him, he's from Brooklyn. Yeah, and then he's just like, funny thing, he just says like, and his firm was huge, really huge. And then then of course we ended off with like where Spider-Man just like using his web shooter to use the.
I forgot. Thor and Hulk were still off-world through the entirety of that.
Yeah.
Kind of fucking disappointing.
It's pretty much what's happening.
Whoever would have, if Hulk and Thor were still there, whoever had Hulk on their team would have won.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure maybe Hulk would have been on the Cap side because he, like Nat said, do you really think he'd be on our side? I mean, especially he did have that thing with Ross, you know. Because they
I
still
don't know. Bruce and Tony were pretty close friends.
Yeah, but then again, Bruce might think that they might just use him as a the government's weapon, So yeah, but anyway.
True.
Pretty much Civil War. Pretty much it ends with Spider-Man using his web shooter to have the spiders. The spider signal, which it kind of sucks that in the future we didn't see that used most often. Yeah, but then of course it was really awesome when it said Spider-Man will return. It's just like, yeah. So yeah, that was it for Captain America Civil War. So man, dude, this was like really awesome.
Indeed, it was.
Yeah. So pretty much again, guys.
Is the first step into the next generation of Marvel.
Yeah, and also I just wanted to say and also the thing is with the events, what's happening with Thor Ragnarok, it is taking place during the events of Captain America Civil War because when they were traveling around that rocket or the that huge ship, it basically kind of takes them forever just to reach the Earth, and because the Bifrost was destroyed. So yeah, it would take them longer just to get back to Earth. So yeah. But anyway, guys. Hope you did enjoy this short discussion on the Phase 3, which is the start of of it, which is Captain America Civil War. But hopefully, future on we could continue on more of this. And again, I just hope we can finish this quicker because, like, God, there's like a bunch of these things. But yeah, anyway, guys, hope you did enjoy this. And now it is time for me to roll out. Peace, bye bye, and
Later,
Avengers.
bitches.
Yeah, and Avengers assemble.